Hey guys, welcome to a video. So today I'm going to teach you guys how to make the sword that we completed in the last game do damage. We're going to be using a method called the hitbox method. The hitbox method is basically whenever the sword is being swung by the player, I want a part that's called the hitbox to be cloned in front of him, and any enemy entity that's touching this part, that's inside this part, will actually take damage. So that's just what we're going to be doing today. So I'm going to put the sword in server storage. I'm going to take this part and name it hitbox. I'm going to anchor it, and I'm going to change a couple of things. So first of all, the color and the transparency, though this is completely trivial since anyways at the end of the script this is completely transparent. I'm only changing the color to make it a little bit more dynamic. The one thing that you have to change is the can collide boolean. You want to set that to false. This is because whenever this part is getting cloned in front of us, we don't want to trap the enemy inside it. We don't want to bug him or to fling him. So it's important that we turn the can collide to false. Now I'll show you guys how to proceed within this script. Now, last video, we created a script that allowed us to load an animation whenever the sword tool was being activated. We're going to bounce off the work we did last time because, again, this time we want something to happen whenever the tool is activated. What we want to do is we want to clone this in front of the player and allow this to do damage. So the first thing that we need to do is to define the original hitbox. So original HB is equal to game.workspace.hitbox. Now whenever the script.parent is being activated, we want to create the clone. So local hitbox is equal to original hitbox :clone, and we want to put the hitbox inside the game.workspace. Okay, so let's just see if this works. So as you can see, every time I'm swinging my sword, there's a clone that's being created and placed inside the game.workspace. Now what we need to do is we need to orient this hitbox to be in front of us. For that, we need our position. And for that, we need our humanoid root part. Now, we can get the humanoid root part from the character. So we know that the character is script.parent.parent. So local root is script.parent.parent, find first child humanoid root part. So there you go, that's all there is to it. Now we have the humanoid root part. So hb.position is equal to root.position. And let's test to see if that works. And as you can see, it works completely fine. But there is one thing left to fix, and that's the fact that whenever we're swinging it, the hitbox is actually spawning in the middle. It's not actually spawning in front of us, and that's not exactly what we want. So for that, we need to use something called a look vector. So we just say plus root.cframe.look vector times a certain magnitude. If the magnitude is really big, so let's say times 100, as you guys can see, it's going to spawn way out in front of us. But we're just going to set it to 3, make it make sense. So now let's check if it works. And as you can see, it does in fact spawn in front of us. So we've already finished the hitbox spawning logic. But make sure that the hitbox does destroy itself after a certain amount of time. All you have to do is go here, hb:destroy, and I'm actually going to change this to something a little bit smaller, so like 0.7. Okay, now we get into the hitbox damage code. So we're going to want to detect whenever something is touching our hitbox. So hb.touched connect function other part. The other part is what is touching our hitbox. What we want to do is we want to check if the other part is, a humanoid. So we just say a local other humanoid is equal to other part dot parent find first child humanoid. And the next thing we want to verify is if this other humanoid is not equal to us. So we just put that in an if statement. So if other humanoid, that means if the other part is, part of a player, and other humanoid is not equal to humanoid, then we want the other humanoid to take 20 damage. Okay, so now we have the damage logic, and we can actually test that out with a dummy. So you go to avatar, build a rig, block avatar, and we can actually test it. So we go here, we take a sword, and if we swing on him, he should take damage and he actually dies. And this is because this is firing about 30 times, because about 30 parts are touching our hitbox. To fix that, we use a debounce. So local db2 is equal to true. We just go here in the if statement and the db2, then we set db2 to false. And when do we know if this is true? Well, we know when this is true after the hitbox is destroyed. Equal true. So there you go. That should do it. So now that we go and we hit him, he's taking 20 damage at a time, and that's perfect. So yeah, that's basically it. You can set this transparency to 1, and yeah, so now you have the sword logic. It does 20 damage at every hit. You did it. Now you have a sword that swings and does damage. Good job. Now there's one thing I want to say. This is pretty elementary, like this is beginner stuff, but now that you have like understanding of the basics, you can go ahead and create weapons of your own. And in future videos I will be doing combos and abilities and stuff like that, so if you're interested in that, stay tuned. And yeah, that's it for now. Thank you.